Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Now, that's Central Time, 2 p.m. out there on the East Coast, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always a fun ride. You can find us on television, syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast at thenewscasters.com. We're on all the social media sites. If you want to go to Facebook and watch us, or YouTube anytime that you want to do, just look up Donna Feazell or Donna's Edge, and you'll be able to find us that way. Continue sending emails. You guys are awesome. It just makes my day when I get emails from you. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. I've got A.P Steadham with us right now. He has his own talk show as well. He's syndicated. He's all over the country, really. You're all over the world, A.P. How are you doing? Long time no see.
Long time, Don. Yeah, we had a little drought there. Yeah, I've been on the road quite a bit, but so glad to be on your show again, as always, and love your audience. They have those questions. We always try to entertain. We'll come up with some answers. Some of them true, some of them we just sticking with the story, right?
What else can you do? Okay, the big questions have been, where's AP been?
That's it. Yeah, I had been on the road. I was at the Super Bowl for a week, and that was really a fun experience. In the NFL, Donna, they have tremendous exposure to the players for the media. We get to visit with them on Monday at a big TV extravaganza right on the field. It was on the Superdome field. And then Tuesday, we had 9 players plus the head coach every day. Then Wednesday, every single player, every single coach. And then Thursday, the same. And then Friday, we don't have any media events. But if you can't get something done in 4 days, you probably won't get anything done, right? So I always enjoyed seeing other people from the media around the country, meeting and visiting with the players from the SEC especially, and other players that I've known through the years. So then the Super Bowl, the game was not very entertaining. We all thought it was going to be close and exciting, but it was really one-sided. In Philadelphia, they had the best balanced team. They didn't have to rely on one player. Patrick Mahomes for Kansas City is really a one-man show to some degree. Philadelphia, good receivers, Saquon Barkley, 2,000 plus yards, Jalen Hurts, championship type quarterback, excellent offensive line, ferocious defense, good special teams, smart coach.
Well, more people are talking about halftime show than they are about the football game.
Right. Yeah, I didn't quite understand it, but that doesn't mean anything. I was in a place where it was a little bit loud, so I couldn't hear that well, but I'm sure if I sit back and watch it closely, I heard the vibes from people, what everything signified. So I'd have to watch it again to give a strong opinion about it. I don't have an opinion one way or another because I couldn't hear everything.
I haven't watched the Super Bowl halftime in a long time. I usually watch the game and then go fix popcorn or something while that's on, then come back.
Right.
Like a pan of brownies, do something during that. It just never entertains me, never has.
Right,
I just I'm there to watch the game.
Yeah, Donna, did you know that the performers really, they pay for everything, I heard?
Oh, really?
NFL doesn't give them the money, so that's a big expense for them, but it's worth it because you're in front of, 1 billion people maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, you'll get
so
a lot
it's
of
worth it for them to have all that publicity. Yeah. So if they're promoting something, everyone knows about it immediately because millions and millions, maybe 1 billion people watching that event. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a press conference we can attend as well, but they overlapped this year, so I did go to the press conference for the entertainment because I was trying to visit with the players and coaches, and I don't know. This year it was slightly different. I was disappointed. Yeah.
Since you were there, Brett wants to know, what was the feel of the Super Bowl this year? Was it any different than it has been in the past?
Yeah, no, it's always exciting. They're, Philadelphia fans, they're rabid. Kansas City was trying to repeat. So most of the media during the week, they were centered on Kansas City. When you went into the rooms, you could see the number of media members at each podium trying to ask questions of Kansas City. Then when you went to Philadelphia, there was a smaller group of media people because Kansas City was the story.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Excuse me.
What are some of the, I know you had a lot of questions to ask. What was your most riveting question you asked, and what was the answer?
Right. Let me see. I'm trying to think of, I was talking to an offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland, for Philadelphia. He was at Alabama where they had some of those better teams with the offensive line. So how was it to coach for a sensational back like Saquon Barkley. And, there's a difference. You don't have to hold your blocks as long in the offensive line, whether consciously or subconsciously, they perform better.
Wow. Wow. Any surprises at the game, things you thought, wow, I didn't expect that?
Yes. The surprise was the score at 1.34-zip. Philadelphia was in the lead. Yeah, I had no idea that they would take command. When I saw it at 17-0, I felt that they were going to win the game, even though Patrick Mahomes has the reputation of coming back from deficits. But I thought that Philadelphia, because of their balance, Kansas City was not going to hold that team like they've done other teams in the past.
Who would you say the most valuable player was on each team?
Yeah, for Philadelphia, they gave the award to Jalen Hurts. I think he was 17 for 22, a couple hundred yards. So he's the perfect quarterback for that team. You say, why? Well, because he doesn't try to overextend his responsibility. He has good receivers. He gets them the ball. Of course, he's handing off to Saquon Barkley for 2,000 plus yards. Has an excellent offensive line. He's able to call some audibles at the line of scrimmage. And when there's an opportunity, he laid in some dimes, some great passes that were tight spaces. He had a very good day. He was accurate. And then there was a chance to run. He'll take the ball off the middle and he'll lay down because he doesn't want to get hit. The quarterback doesn't need to get hurt or have a fumble the football. So he had one interception, which did not hurt him. So Jalen Hurts was the MVP. I agreed with the choice. For Kansas City, it's always Patrick Mahomes, usually. But he did not have a good day. I think he was exposed slightly because, Donna, we know that he can make those baseball throws from all the different angles. But they pressured him so many plays consecutively, he can't do it every play. And he was not accurate that day. So that compounded the issue for him, throwing the ball. And then the receivers dropped the ball. So Kansas City, it wasn't their best offensive performance. And then defensively, Philadelphia was able to drive the ball and score. Plus, he threw a pick six. Patrick Mahomes threw a pick six to Philadelphia. So that adds to the dilemma.
AP, since we've had our last recording, we've had a lot of email, and most of it has been about college football.
College football, right?
And the transfer portals and that kind of thing. Do you see things getting a little more stabilized this coming season?
Donna, it's still the Wild West, as we told you years ago, until either Congress or the NCAA comes up with some legislation. I don't foresee it in the near future, really. I just don't. Mm-hmm. But one of the big stories, Donna, is, and it'll probably take us a little while to discuss, is the college football playoff moving forward, not only this year, 2025, but 2026 and beyond. Now, Donna, if there's a change made in the format, the 10 conferences and Notre Dame's always a factor, they must agree on a change. For instance, when I say people, coaches, some fans, people did not agree with the 4 automatic qualifiers at the top having a bye. They didn't agree that they seeded the teams 1 through 12, but the 12th team, I think, was number 4 because they were a conference champion. Arizona State. Yet Boise State was a conference champion. They're in the top 4. Georgia won the SEC top 4. And Oregon, conference champion, Big Ten. So those were the 4 teams that had a bye. And Donna, all 4 teams lost their first game, when they had after the bye. So I think, and I'm not sure, I don't think it's going to be unanimous, but I don't think it's going to change because why would the Big 12 vote to seed the teams 1 through 12? And their team was the 12th team this year, but ended up at number 4 with this process. So I think you're going to see another year of, they're going to rank the teams 1 through 12, but they're going to seed those top 4 conference champions to have the bye. Now, moving forward, there's been a memorandum between the SEC and the Big Ten to take complete control of the process. The other conferences, Notre Dame will have input, but Donna, I don't think it's going to be worth the paper it's written on. I think the SEC and the Big Ten, they're going to have so much influence, they're going to demand and command and proceed with what they have in mind to change the playoff process. And what that means, Donna, is, and I don't agree, the SEC wants 4 automatic qualifiers. Now, you realize this year when they had the 13-member committee supposed to be impartial, they only selected 3 SEC teams. And I think that was the right decision. I don't think there should have been a 4th SEC team. But moving forward in 2026, when the SEC and the Big Ten have that power. They want 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, 2 from the Atlantic Coast Conference, 2 from the Big 12, 1 from the non-Power 4. They call it their Group of 5. And then Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a factor. They have to be ranked, I think, 14 or above. So that puts it at what? 14 teams. That's 4, 4, 8, 2, 10, 12. Notre Dame, the non-Power 5, that's 14. So there would be the 2 top teams would have a bye. So I think at that point, they'll rank them and also seed them the same way. So the 2 top teams in the country would have a bye. Or they could move to 16 where no one has a bye. But that's another game for some teams. But anyway, this idea that the SEC and the Big Ten demand 4 teams, I do not like it because coaches are always preaching competition. Well, there's no competition when you're an automatic qualifier with 4. We understand the champion, the conference champion, however you deem the champion. And that's another thing, Donnie. When you have the SEC championship game, what they might do is the SEC will rank their teams 1 through 6. And then what they'll do is the 4th team will play the 5th team and the 3rd team will play the 6th team instead of having the SEC championship game. So that way, the 3 through number 3 and number 6, they'll fight it out for a spot, and 4 and 5 will fight it out for a spot. The same weekend that they normally have the SEC championship game. So then they'll have their 4 teams. Now, every league, they can proceed as they see fit. But I think that's a strong possibility for the SEC. That way, Donna, if you think about it, you're keeping everybody excited to the end of the season. Team number 6 still has a chance to make the playoff, even though they're not forward. They're not the top 4 in the conference, SEC. So maybe that's how they'll move in the future. But 2026, we're going to see a different college football playoff format. Teams, rankings, seedings, many changes, yeah. And I don't agree with some of them, as I said.
Well, I mean, it has to be a trial run. When you start a business, you start a trial run. Yeah. And we call it beta, until we kind of get it and rolling. And think of technology. Anytime a new phone comes out, there's going to be a beta stage right there.
That's a beta stage, right, yeah.
Well, that's what we're going through right now with college football. But I think eventually, I hope it happens pretty soon, though.
It will. It will. If it's in their favor, it happens fast.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's go into a commercial break. I can't believe half the show is already over. So let's go ahead and go into a break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Okay, Donna.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters, and that's why we have A.P Steadham with us here. A.P., how can folks find you? You have a show syndicated. You're all over the world.
Yes. They can check my YouTube channel, AP As We See It, and then also my YouTube channel, personal AP at AP Steadham. Everything is on video now, so I think we're going to get back to having some guests this week, hopefully. But sometimes there's a lot to say, so I have to bring up these subject matters. As you see, we're talking about the college football playoff. It's an extended conversation. So they can find me there on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the X accounts as well. And then we're on the radio stations across the state. And then on Spotify, every episode is archived on Spotify as well.
Well, we're going to have to get you in South Carolina. You're getting pretty popular out there.
Yeah, that would be fun to be on a station in South Carolina. It would be. Yeah, the Carolina fans are very loyal, loyal.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we're right in the middle of it right now. You don't want to get between South Carolina and Clemson. You don't want to.
Clemson, no way. That's right. They're both fan bases that supportive, win, lose, or draw. They support their team. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They don't want anybody in between. So I'm going to have to hurry up and decide who I'm going to be for. So I don't know yet. Okay. I know you had some more things you wanted to tell us.
Yeah, Donna, with the advent of this SEC Big Ten memorandum that gives them control, and they're going to have the 4 qualifiers. So they know that they're getting plenty of teams, plenty of money will be flowing towards those 2 conferences. So the Big Ten plays the 9 games per year, nine conference games. The SEC is 8 right now. There's been discussion for 10 years in the SEC about playing a 9th game. They never wanted to play because they're trying to reach 6 games to qualify for a bowl. But if they have this agreement, you can see the SEC moving to 9 games. So that's another big money game on TV. Mm-hmm. Then what they want to do is, in basketball, down they have these challenges: Big Ten, SEC, Big Ten, ACC, SEC, ACC, SEC, Big 12. They're going to incorporate games between the Big Ten and the SEC. And I think that's going to be a separate contract to make them more money between the SEC and the Big Ten. So you could see, let's say, for instance, Iowa play a team they've never competed against in the SEC. That'll be fun. I know, for instance, Iowa's never played Alabama. That would be fun to see that type of game.
I didn't know that.
Right. Michigan play, I don't know, some team. Maybe, I don't know if Michigan's ever played LSU, to tell you the truth. Maybe they have, but not very often. In Georgia, they have rarely went north of the Mason-Dixon line to play anybody. They played Michigan way back in 65, I think it was, and Notre Dame a couple times now. But they rarely have played, unless it was a bowl game. I think they played Ohio State in one of the bowls. And, of course, they played Notre Dame this year and lost in the playoff. So that's another ancillary consequence of all this power play. You're going to see some better games, more games in the SEC, within the conference and games against the Big Ten. But I still would like to see them play teams from the Big 12 and the ACC as well, and some other people too, Notre Dame, for instance, right? So, but this college football playoff, they trying to maximize the money, the power people trying to grab everything that they can, which I don't agree with, Don, as I said, the 4 qualifiers from the Big Ten and the SEC. But it's going to be transformative in the next several years, and it'll move fast. Like I said, I don't know if 2025 you can get together and have the unanimous vote. You need a unanimous vote in 2025 to make change. 2026, SEC, Big Ten have the power. With input from those other conferences, I don't think it's going to matter very much, John. I don't think it means anything. It's a nice sentence on a piece of paper. That's all it is. Yeah.
I find it interesting. We have a lot of viewers, and for years I've heard some of you guys say, I'm not going to watch college football ever again. I don't like it. But y'all keep coming back now.
Well, yeah, I don't think their favorite tiddlywink team will lure them. I don't believe that. I think it's still, they're going to watch their team. It's similar to pro football, pro sports now. When they started with the free agency, you would see baseball players, football players on the same team for decades. But when you have the free agency, which is the transfer portal, and the NIL influences the decision as well, you're going to see people rooting for a team primarily because the players are on the move. Coaches are on the move. So it's very similar. It takes a little while to embrace, but that's the toothpaste is out of the dispenser. Yeah.
Can't put it back.
No, can't put it back. So
well, I know you want to talk about basketball too.
Yeah, basketball, Donnie. The SEC, spectacular season, historic, unprecedented. 9 teams were in the Associated Press poll last week. It comes out early this week. But as I said, I think the SEC probably, there's 16 teams with the inclusion of Oklahoma and Texas this year. You could have 10, 11 teams in the NCAA tournament, which is great. That's fabulous because you're going to receive some money for playing a game. It's game by game. You receive a portion of the proceeds. But I believe to be successful this season, Don, as I stated, I continue to preach this, that you have to probably have 4 teams reach the Sweet 16 to be successful because basketball is a tournament sport. And to just win all the games, it's great. It's great for your coach, the fans, they love it. But you have to advance in the tournament. Let's say 4 teams, let's say they have 10, 11. I would say 4 or 5 teams need to reach the Sweet 16. And then one team out of this conference has to be in the Final Four. You can't have such a successful, unprecedented historical season and not have one team in the Final Four. It'll be for naught. You'll talk about it years from now. How remember that season the SEC had 8, 9, 10 teams in the Associated Press and they had 10, 11, and 12 in the tournament. You'll say that and you say, well, who won the champion or who was one of the Final Four teams? Oh, no SEC team. So it's a really anticlimactic.
Yeah. Wow. Changes in sports, period. I had a segment and I have it's called Sports History. Lamone's Mexican's Restaurant sponsors that.
I like that.
Every single day. I love it. But I found something right here and it was about football. And I just want to go back to football just for a second. Yeah. And so this is the history of football. So this is what they say. Football closely related to ancient English sports, rugby and soccer, or association football. So American football originated in universities in North America, primarily in the United States in the late 19th century. This is what I thought was interesting. The man most responsible for the transition from the earlier rugby-like game to the sport of football we know today was Walter Camp.
Correct.
Also known as father of American football.
That's right.
As a Yale undergraduate and medical student, I didn't know he was a medical student. From 1876 to 1881, he played halfback, and he also served as head coach, where he pioneered many of the rules and innovations that shaped the modern day game.
Correct.
I just thought that was just downright interesting.
Yeah, Walter Camp, Donna, they're the oldest All-American team. And they hold the banquet usually many times. It was held at Yale University. I've attended it. And I think their All-American team is like 130-something years old. So that's a prestigious All-American team. And Donna, when you're trying to reach the Hall of Fame after you retire from the game of football, there's 4 or 5 All-American teams that are designated. You have to be on the first team so you can reach the Hall of Fame. And that's one of them, Walter Camp Football Foundation. And I always tell the players that I'm around, if you get an invitation, you make the All-American team, their first or second team, you can come up to New Haven and you spend the weekend Thursday through Sunday, and you go to the children's hospitals and you have autograph signing sessions and you meet the other players from around the country. And then you could have that association your entire lifetime. So I always strongly suggest to be associated with the Walter Camp Football Foundation and their All-American team, because it's the other All-American team, Associated Press. You have the Football Writers Association. I vote for that one. You have the coaches All-American team. That happens, and that's the end of it. Whereas the Walter Camp is a lifelong association. Yeah. It's funny you brought that up, Walter Camp. Yeah. He's from a town here, thinking it's Brittany, Connecticut, not too far from New Haven. Father of football, came up all those things. I forgot the specifics exactly, but he's the father of football, recognized by most people.
What would Walter Camp say about football as we play it today?
Well, I would say that he's a person that came up with the changes to make it a better game, so he understands change. Mm-hmm. Maybe not always for the best, though, but he understands change.
I bet he would have liked to coach Paul Bear Brunt.
That would have been a conversation, yeah.
Absolutely. A minute and a half left in this segment. What would you like to say before we go?
Yeah, I'd say, watch the SEC basketball. It's like I said, a historic season. The women's, they'll have their share of teams as well in the tournament. For those in the Southeast, Donna, the women's basketball, they just have the two locations of the regional sites. One is Birmingham, Alabama. So if you like women's basketball, I think it's either the last 8 or the top 16. And then the other one is Spokane, which is quite a distance from the Southeast. But if you like women's basketball, plan a trip to Birmingham. And the Final Four for the men is in San Antonio, and the Final Four for the women is in Tampa. So they're located in the Southeast, Southwest. If you want to plan a trip, and they're fun events. I recommend it.
Oh, yeah. Phil's mother played basketball in the 1940s.
Oh, she's there every time.
Almost 6 foot tall. She's 5'11" and a half. Someone you could really look up to. Anyway, she loved the sport of football and basketball as well, but more basketball.
Oh, yeah. Good sport.
Oh, yeah. Now, how can folks find you again, AP?
Yeah, at A.P Steadham, as we see it on the YouTube, and at A.P Steadham. All the events I covered, all the interviews are there. I think I had 20-something Super Bowl interviews like I said, one of my favorite interviews was with the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, Clark Hunt. It's fascinating. And all the players and pictures and things, they can find it on my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X account, and our shows archive on Spotify and all the radio stations. They can check your local radio station for the time on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
We're going to have to see if we can get South Carolina in there.
Yes, I would be
We're going to have to try for that. Yeah, okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And thank you, AP, for being with me. It's been a long time. It hasn't been that long. It just seems like it.
It seems like it, right? It does, Donna. Glad to be back.
Let's not do this again, okay?
No.
I got to have AP on there because people will be frustrated if we don't. So, but guys, thank you so much. Continue sending emails, Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.